What an incredible convention this has been. We've laughed, we've learned, we've leveled up. But before we walk out the doors tonight, I'd like to leave you with 3 things that you really have to do, that you have to take ownership, that have to become part of you if you want to build a big organization. See, remember, you were born for a purpose. You're here on purpose. When life knocks you down, remember that purpose. And the first thing you have to do to build this opportunity, you have to fall in love with your organization. You have to fall in love with this industry. You have to fall in love with the company. You have to fall in love with network marketing. You have to fall in love with the products. You have to fall in love with the tools. And it's important to understand that near life is not perfect. That network marketing is not perfect. That our products are not perfect, but you need to understand there is nothing even second best to it. There's no opportunity out there where you can earn global residual income, where you can be free, where you can be mentored and guided and equipped to become a success in this industry free of charge, and where we have got products that are just absolutely set aside from anything else in the world. People say, well, and they start reading labels and things like that. I say, hey, you show me another carotenoid that's got 15 families with human clinical trials published in peer-reviewed medical journals. You show me an omega-3 that's produced in such a way that you can trust the labeling that's got human clinical trials published in medical journals. There is nothing out there to compare our products with. And I want to give you a scenario to help you understand how awesome this business is. Let's say you walk into Whole Foods tomorrow morning and the manager comes out and says, hey John, you're such a great customer here. We love you so much for coming here on a daily basis. We want to do an experiment. If you pay us about the price of a tank of gas, if you give us about $75, we're going to give you 25% discount for the next year at least. Guess what I'm going to say? Give me that. Come on, how do I get going? I'm going to save that in my first month. So no, there's a lot more to it. If you know anybody out there that would like to use these incredible products at a discount, if they do the same, we're going to give you a commission for sending them. We're going to give them 25% discount. So it's a win-win-win situation because we're winning, you winning, they winning. Man alive, this is too good to be true. I say, hey, yeah, I'm ready, let's go. He said, no, and if they send people, and hey, John, we're in more than 50 countries across the globe. Now you can earn global residual income. You have to start pinching yourself. Then he says, the mentoring is free. The training is free. The website is free. The equipping is free. All we want you to do is succeed. And you say, well, I know what mentoring costs. This is unbelievable. And then goes on further and says, no, there's a lot more to it. Once you get a business a certain size and you really stay in the trenches, we're going to give you free vacations around the world. We'll pay for your flights. We'll pay for your accommodations. Come on, you'll be shouting to every friend in the world. And he says, that's not everything. Once your business is a certain size, it's willable. It's willable to your spouse. It's willable to your kids. They'll be earning the residual income for life for the work you once done. Now, you need to understand this business is not easy. Unfortunately in life, too many people try, and try is pathetic. You see, too many people just go out with the lady like they go to a library and take a book out the library. And when they're unhappy, they just switch it over to another book. You see, if you're married, if it's for better or for worse, and it's been worse many times for Laverne with me. Is that right, sweetheart?
Never.
Okay. Guess what? We're in it for better, for worse. And you need to become married to this kind of business. And this is why you want to become married to it. You see, if you fall in love with what you do, the people you help, the lives you touch, the freedom we create, the legacy we're creating, then no bad day, no rejection, no obstacle, nothing will stop you. I'm going to give you some ideas. The people we love, the people we help. Let's talk about Kim for a second, right? Can you imagine if Kim hadn't walked into my house a few months ago, she wouldn't be here today. I'd be very surprised if she's here today. And guess what? I gave her some ideas. She went and did them. And that's what's so exciting about it, right? The lives we touch. Let's talk about Amos back in South Africa. Amos was a young man. He had polio. He would walk like this. And he was about 25 years old. And I said, what's your dream, Amos? He said, my dream is to get a bicycle, because I have to walk 5 miles to work every morning and 5 miles back from work every evening. He said, my body is sore all the time from this terrible way I walk from my polio. And guess what? Amos didn't only get a bicycle. In 12 months, he got himself a motor car. And it was a cheap, rundown motor car. But to me, that is so exciting, where you can empower somebody to achieve a goal like that. So let's take somebody like Gwala. Gwala, I'll never forget going to do a meeting in East London, South Africa. And when I walked in, he was about 6'6", tall young man. He must have been about 24 years old. And he comes to me, he says, can we take a photograph? And I said, yeah, take a photograph. He takes a photo and he turns to me and his tears running down his face. He says, I was a street child. I was thrown away when I was about 5 years old. He said, I have lived out of trash cans, clothing, food, my entire life. He said, when near life came along, no education, can't read or write. And I started buying Super 10, diluting it, and selling it in the spray bottle on taxis. And he said, you see the suit? I paid cash for it for my near-life business. These are the first clothes I've ever owned in my life that I bought. That to me makes me why I love this opportunity. I want to ask you something. Do you love this enough to talk about it when no one's listening? To show up when no one's watching? You need to get into the zone to build this business. I was listening to a tape one day about network marketing, and they say, if you would just keep showing the plan if nobody's joining, if you just keep talking about it when nobody's listening, and nothing phases you, you're going to build a big business. And I got goosebumps because I said, you know what? I'm going to build a big business, because I don't care if you're listening or not. I know what I've got is the best product, the best opportunity, the best company, the best plan, the best team. I know what I've got. If you don't like it, shame on you. I'm moving the road. The Bible tells you what to do. It says, dust your feet off and get away before you catch their stinking thinking. Because
that's paraphrasing.
Yeah, because you know, some will, some won't. So what? Somewhere 6 will. And if you've got 6 people, you are a president's team. How exciting is that? All you need is 6 good legs, and you can become, it takes a bit more work than that. Number 2, to build this business, you need to become a leader. You need to grow as a human being. When my wife married me, she married Mr. Scruffy. Right? I did not care what people thought of me.
That's true.
I used to long hair if I wanted it, shave once a week if I wanted to.
That's true.
I used to have long socks. I didn't care what color they were. I didn't care if my clothes had holes in. I was not there to impress anybody. But when I saw this business, and they said, if you want to succeed, find you a mentor. Find you somebody that is where you want to be. And I thought, wow, who's the best person I know? And it was Charlie Bolton. I remember Charlie getting out of his car, and I went and looked at his nice clean car, white Mercedes. And he got out there, he had a nice dark suit on, white shirt, bright tie, black shoes, shiny. And I thought, man, black leather briefcase, held himself tall, chin up, shoulders back, smile on his dial, looked you in the eye, shook a hand like a man. I said, I'm going to follow this man. and I bought books on body sign language, and I read them. I was trying to get everything on my side to help me win this battle, because it's a war out there. Too many people think you're just trying to sell them something. You're not trying to sell them, you're trying to give them hope. You're not trying to sell dope. And I read books on how to win friends and influence people. I read books on body sign language, how to mirror people. I read books on 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. You see, I had to go from scruffy me to success me, because once you grow, people start following you in this organization. You know, in the military, when I was back in the military, they taught us, if you're walking through a minefield, number one is try and find somebody with a minesweeper and walk exactly where he walked. I mean, don't put a foot out of place. Walk there. And if he doesn't have a minesweeper, stay a few yards back and still walk exactly where he walks. And that's what you need to do in this business. Too many of us are too clever, and we all want to do it our way. Once the path has been proven that there's something that works, stick to that, follow in those footprints, and get out there and become successful. You see, one of the things in this business is communication. And I was a bad communicator. Have I improved?
He has improved so much.
So let me give you an idea. Somebody wanted a parcel from me, and I forgot it in my office. My beautiful bride, he cleans up my office. I didn't know this while I'm at a meeting. So she's still cleaning it up when I get back. It's 10 o'clock at night. I'm sure she's going to be in bed. And so I say, Clifford, hey, just follow me.
There were no cell phones.
There were no cell phones. I say, Cliffy, follow me home. My house is just down the road. I've got your products on my desk. I go in with him behind me. There's no products on my desk. My desk is spotless. The place is vacuumed. It's immaculate. What the heck has happened to the stuff, right? Then I hear the cupboard creaking. I had a big wardrobe in my office, and the wardrobe's creaking. What's a wardrobe creaking in the middle of the night for? So I go up to the wardrobe, and the wardrobe talks to me. Here's the products, right? She had the products in the cupboard with her. You see, she had next to nothing on.
I had pajamas on, but they were not big for public.
Yeah, Laverne thinks pajamas are next to nothing, right? Okay, because the next thing is nothing. So anyway, so I go
Kendra hadn't given me that nice gown yet.
Okay, so I go to the cupboard to get these products out the cupboard, and Laverne sees Clifford behind me, and she slams the door, nearly taking my fingers off. Well, I don't know if he's still in the business, but anyway.
He is.
He's still in the business. He still uses the products. Right? Okay, the next thing is, you had to grow in dress. Now, I get gout. I used to get gout, right? And so I would have shoes the same size. A size 12 and a size 10. This is the foot that gets gout. So guess what happens? I went to this meeting, and I took 2 left shoes. I had traveled about 8 hours. I arrive into town as the meeting's about to start, and I've got 2 left shoes, right? And in Africa, you don't take your shoes off when you go inside. I could have used that excuse, right? So you need to be willing to do what others won't to get what. Sorry, you need to be willing to do what you've never done to get what you've never got. And Zig Ziglar says, another thing to become a leader, you have to have goals. You need to know what you're doing, and you need to know what your goal is. And Zig Ziglar says he can beat anybody at darts. All you have to do is blindfold them, spin them around 20 times, and they don't know where the dartboard is. Well, you say, well, that's dumb. Anybody can beat somebody who's blindfolded. Well, hey, my friend, it's not as dumb as working really hard to achieve a goal if you don't know what that goal is. You need to have clear goals. You need to know. That's why a dream chart is so important. That's why if you're in my organization, I keep pumping you. Do a goals chart. Get a dream board up. Write out your self-talk. What is my self-talk? I sponsor sharp, young, productive people into my organization. Everybody I talk to, I sponsor. I'm excited about the future. My team is growing like crazy across the world. I'm a fully qualified 3-diamond on the way to 4-diamond through the mighty power of Jesus Christ, my King and Savior. You see, The next thing over here, there are no bad experiences. Here I am, one of my people phoned me from Durban, and he begs me about 50 times, please come to a meeting. I'm so broke, I can't even pay attention. Have you ever been that poor? I can't even think straight. And so eventually, now Durban's not around the corner. It's nearly like from here to California sort of thing. You had to basically, let's say, Arizona. And I get in my car and I go and do a meeting, and guess what? Nobody shows up, not even the leader. I had taken my kids' food money and put it into the gas tank. I get there, I have to pay for the venue. He didn't even show up to pay for his venue. I drive back at about, because I had nowhere to sleep, at about 3 a.m. in the morning. I come over the hill, and some people had put rocks across the road, and I smashed my car up. But guess what? Tough times never last, and tough people do. You get up one more time. That's all you do in life. Get up one more time. You pull your shoulders back, put a smile on your dial, and you say, this too shall pass. You need bulldog tenacity. What did I learn from that? You see, you never fail. You're either learning or your business is growing. I learned, don't do a meeting for one person. Make sure that that person is committed. Make sure they're coming to events. Make sure they've got a dream. Then you can go and help those people. The next thing I discovered is lead yourself first. I arrived in America, and guess what? I had come from events, which you saw yesterday, Kendra showing, of thousands and thousands of people. And I rallied everybody I could into my 8-seater Lincoln. And I think we had Tony was there with us. We had Laverne, myself, David, Elizabeth. I think Vanita was there. So people we know, a handful of local people. We filled up our Lincoln Navigator. We went across to San Francisco, and there were about 70 people. I don't know if there were 50. I've got no clue anymore. But let me tell you something. I heard somebody behind me say, is this the last meeting Near Life will do in America before they close the doors? And I thought to myself, my team heard that. I nearly had a heart attack right then. And my brain span like crazy, and I turned around. You've all heard me tell the story. And I turned around to my team. I said, come here. I said, 2 shoe salesmen went to Africa. The one got off the ship and went beep, 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 beep. Don't send shoes. Africans don't wear shoes. And I said, the next one went beep, 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 beep. And I said, send shiploads. The entire continent needs shoes. And I said to them, America needs what we've got. They need better health. They need more energy. They need family. They need love. They need people who love Jesus Christ as the King and Savior. They need people to encourage them and uplift them and give them hope for the future, to empower them to earn a second income. I said, we've got what this country needs, and we're going to build a massive army across this country, and we're going to do that. And we're in the embryo stages right now. I told Kendra the other day, I got 20 years under my belt still. 20 years. And my goal, I can see auditoriums full on the East Coast, on the center, on the West Coast, and we are rocky and rolling. We're going to build a big business. You see, a leader makes a way, finds a way, proves the way, goes the way, then empowers others to succeed in that way. Your actions speak so loud as a leader, your people can't hear what you're saying. Never tell your people what you do. What should you do? Put a smile in your dial. Pull your shoulders back. If the hall wasn't so big, I'd get a few people up here and show you how Anna Maria Riccardia showed me how to build a business. And that's what she said. Put a smile in your dial. Stick a hand out, go and fetch somebody, bring them up here. Now go and do the same likewise. Keep it simple, keep it duplicatable, that anybody can build this business. The last point to build this business is you need to think like a business owner. And it's really important to understand that if you can understand this picture, in front of my office back home in Africa, I had a water pump on a well. And the maid used to go out there in the morning and she would start pumping. And after a while, no water was coming out because it was about 20 foot deep. It was a 2-inch thing, and she had to pump for about 3 minutes, but after about a minute she gave up because too many people give up, and all of a sudden she'd hear the water running back and just say, "Che, nazi manzi corner." And then she run back. By that time, it's run all the way down again. She would say, "Oh my gracious, there is water in there," but she would hear it going glug, 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 running down again. And she'd start pumping again. And that's what we do. We come to an event, we pumped up for a few weeks, and then we go flat. It's unbelievable. And then we get really excited. I don't know how people, jerks don't build this business. You just decide to do it, and you do it. I don't get deflated every 2 hours. I'm just consistently pumping away. And people say, "Well, there's nothing happening." No, you don't know. There is so much happening in your life. You see, while you're pumping away, you're growing in credibility. You're growing in your speaking skills. You're developing your product stories. You're developing your business stories. You're molding how to tell your stories. You're learning to connect. You're learning to get up early. You're learning to be on time. You're learning to dress. You're learning to shake a hand. You're learning to stay late. You're learning to smile. You're learning to talk. You're learning to connect. You're learning to follow up. You're learning to present. You're learning to send links. You're learning to do 3-way calls. You're learning to edify. You're learning to uplift. You're learning to be a team player. You're learning to send the tools. You're learning to find the tools. And when the water starts gushing, then you just can slow down, just keep pumping away. Because I'm telling you now, it's just flowing out of there. And it will just keep flowing, but don't stop because it's going to go glug, glug. Then you have to start all over again. You have to keep pumping this thing. You see, a leader, a business owner will do what others won't do. Laverne and I are on the way to an event like this, and we get a phone call from one of our leaders. We didn't book accommodation. Have you ever heard that before? No, there's nothing left. So we said, "Go, take our accommodation. We'll find." They said, "Louis, there is no accommodation." We said, "Yazah Haroom, there was no accommodation. We slept in the car that weekend." You see, we business owners, a business owner sacrifices for their people. Are you prepared to sacrifice for your people? They only found out months later. Our business was really growing like crazy. We were about 3 months, 90 days that I was supporting Laverne. We first only joined to use the products. Then we started building a business. Our business was rocking and rolling. I was traveling every night, about 2.5 hours to do a meeting, 2.5 hours back. I was getting up at about 4:30 a.m. I was a farmer boy, start early. I would work until about 5:30, get in the car, get to a meeting at 7:30, come back, get home at about 12 p.m. every night. I had red eyes. People say, "What's wrong with your eyes?" I said, "These are freedom eyes." You need to go and see a doctor. No, these are freedom eyes. These eyes mean you're going to own yourself. And I was driving back from Cape Town one day. This is how it happened. I finished work at 5:30 on Friday afternoon. I drove through the night to Cape Town, about 11 hours. And I got there early Sunday morning at about 4:35 a.m. I slept for a few hours, worked all day Saturday. Slept Saturday evening, worked Sunday, all day Sunday, got in my car 5:30. I was driving home. It was about 4 a.m. in the morning, and I put in a CD, and this is where my business turned around. That was the day I knew I was going to build. I got goosebumps just talking about it, because I put in the CD and it said, "Who's this dark horse out there who's sick and tired of being broke? Sick and tired of getting up before they finish to work for a boss that didn't appreciate them? Who was sick and tired of settling for holidays and settle for vacations and settle for motor cars and settle for homes and Who is this dark horse out there who's had a guts full of living the mundane life, that wants to create the legacy and make the world a better place and empower others to become a success and lead people to Jesus? Who's the dark horse out there who wants to change a life? And the tears were running down my face, and I was just sobbing there, and I said, Lord, it's me. It's me. It's me. I want to make the world a better place. I want to change life. I want to be an example. I want to be a shining light. I want to stand apart from the crowd. I don't want to be the failure when I get to heaven, when God says, I gave you so many talents, you never used them. And I want to ask you today, don't stand up, don't, just in your heart, who's in this room saying, I want to come back here with a different pin next year? Who in this room is saying, I'm going to be the person who's going to sacrifice and go the extra mile and own myself and be free and spread love and spread encouragement and spread joy and make the world a better place and be a shining light? Who is the one in this room that says, I am sick and tired of my past. I want a brand new future. Thank you very much.
Wow.